Welcome, crypto fam, to No One Daily Bitcoin Pod. In today's show, I'll be sharing the latest Bitcoin technical analysis as well as breaking news. Goldman Sachs stacks Ethereum as well as Bitcoin. Also, we'll be discussing State of Wisconsin's $162 billion investment board scoops up more Bitcoin ETF shares, as well as Barclays purchases 131 million of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. Also, breaking news, Javier Malay's endorsed Libra token gets rugged right after. Let me correct my volume here. It's actually kind of wild. Max wrote, I predicted this would happen back on August 6, 2024. Malay will learn the hard way about the shitcoins. Today, his shitcoin lost billions of dollars in just a few hours. And we'll also be sharing the latest with Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund announcing buying $436 million worth of Bitcoin via the Bitcoin ETFs. And quoting Max and Stacy strike again. The Mideast dam of the demand has burst. $1 trillion buy orders are on tap. God candle incoming. 2.2 million in play. We'll also be taking a look at the overall crypto market. All this plus so much more in today's show. But anyways, if you're new to the channel, very important, smash the likes, go ahead, subscribe, then hit the bell icon, turn on all notifications to receive daily premium crypto newsletters every single day, 7 days a week, including Stat Stack and Saturdays, just like this. Today is pod episode 1906. I'm your host, JV. It's February 15th, 2025, which ultimately means we're halfway through the month. Another couple of weeks yet to go here for February. Let's kick it off with our market watch, as we do each and every day. You should be able to see Coin 360 right here on your screen. We got Bitcoin barely in the red, just down 0.25% on the day, maintaining just shy of 98 Gs. Also, XRP, ETH, the majority of all the alts correcting and in the red. Checking out coinmarketcap.com. The current crypto market cap sits at 3.23 trillion. The Bitcoin market cap, 1.935 trillion. As far as the volume, we got roughly 73 billion worth of volume over the past 24 hours. We got the Bitcoin dominance at 59.9% with Ether dominance at 10.1%. Checking out top 100 crypto gainers past 24 hours. We have up 40%, followed by Onyx Coin. Let the boys be boys, just slam. And then we have scam token FTT, the native token of the FTX exchange. Interesting. Up 12% on the day. And below that, very modest gains as the majority of the market is correcting and in the red. And check it out. The crypto bubbles. We get a visual perspective on the daily. As you can see right here, 90% of the market corrective and in the red on the daily. But zooming out on the monthly, very similar scenario, but very big corrections across the board. Some of these alts down 20, 30, 40, 50%. So be careful with the shit coinery. And checking out the crypto greed inventory index. We're dead in the middle of little did we know that we riddle some middlemen who didn't do diddly. I only spit those bars, recipes big fun, when we're 50 dead in the middle. And it's a neutral. Yesterday was a 48, last week a 44, and last month a 75 in greed. And checking out the time chain calendar. We're currently on block number 883,898. We have 166,102 blocks until the next halving. And you can currently exchange one fiat monopoly dollar for 1,024 sats. So stack the sats, put down the gats, pick up some Bitcoin caps from my man Sergio over at bitcoincaps.net. But anyways, let's dive into today's astrology for the broskies. I don't have any specific technical articles we're going to read. We're just going to dive right into the charts. If that's cool with you guys, let me know. We're going to pull up TradingView via Coinbase, and we'll go from there, and I'll just give you my 2 Satoshis on where we stand currently. As you can see on your screen right here, rising wedge formation on the 1 hour chart. We do have a blue bull target sitting just shy of 106,000. Happy 420 for the broskies. It's 420 here in Puerto Rico. Spark up the broccoli. Now, 106 would take us 3,000 shy of price discovery, which was achieved on January 20th, inauguration day for the Trumpster. We also have another bull target here in the 1 hour, sitting just shy of 104 Gs, baby. So 104,000 and 106,000 in play on the 1 hour chart with the rising wedgie. And zooming out from the 1 hour, take a quick look at the 4 hour. We still have the orange bull target sitting at 130,000, which is pretty lit. I believe this could happen here in the Q1 of the year, which we have until the end of March to hit that particular target. But let me know when you feel we'll likely hit 130 Gs. I think the next logical leg up after we break current price discovery of 109 is going to be in that range, like 120 to 130,000. Let me know if you guys agree, disagree. Zooming out from the 4 hour, we'll take a quick look at the daily. And the daily chart says it's going up forever, JV. Rising wedgie formation here as well. We've had some sideways trading action, as you can clearly see for the week. And zooming out from the daily, we take a quick look at the weekly. The weekly says there is no second best. We have the 124,000 sexy cup and handle target, which has been on the weekly chart for several months now. We cover this each and every day. We had a nice run up since Trump being announced, president and all that, but then we've been trading sideways ever since. And zooming out from the weekly, check out the monthly time preference. You can see here, thus far, February has been bearish, which is ironic as historically is bullish, but we still have a couple of weeks to finish strong for the month and the greatest month of the year, February. And last month was itty bitty green, prior month was itty bitty red, and then November was the Godzilla biggest green candle close we've ever had since the inception of the Genesis block, which occurred January 3rd of 2009. But there you go, crypto bros. Let me know your thoughts, and I'll read those comments out loud. And again, welcome everyone just joining us here today on the live stream. And let me show you guys what I was talking about with Plan B really quick so you can see what I was saying. He made a post here, disclosure, I have transferred my Bitcoin to ETFs. Now, first and foremost, the first red flag, why do you need to make a disclosure or make an announcement of what you're doing with how you custody your Bitcoin? That kind of like raised the first red flag in my mind. And then he says, yes, I know, not your keys, not your coins. We know not your keys, not your cheese, but it's just easier for me to manage Bitcoin the same way as equities and bonds. Also, not having to hassle with keys gives me peace of mind. I guess I am not a maxi anymore. You're not. You're not even a Bitcoin holder if you don't control your own private keys. To each their own. I'm not going to hate on the guy. I have a lot of respect for Plan B. So respect Plan B. But my first reaction, this is genuine. I was hoping this was an April Fool's joke, but after checking the calendar, we're still in February. So yeah, my personal insights, I don't give investment advice, but I do not advise to put all your self-custodied Bitcoin in a Bitcoin ETF. And there's several reasons I would never recommend this to anyone in my audience. So let me share what some of those reasons are. Number one, as he mentioned, rule number one, not your keys, not your cheese, not your keys, not your coins. You don't own any Bitcoin, which belongs to a Bitcoin ETF. You know who owns it? Whoever holds the keys. So if it's through BlackRock, it would be Coinbase, which is the custodian. Not your keys, not your cheese. Number two, if you don't trust the government and you think maybe, even if there's a slight 1% chance possibility that they confiscate your Bitcoin through the Bitcoin ETF, which they can do in the name of national security, they've done it in 1933 with the Gold Seizure Act. Good Lord, you can lose everything you have and have access to none of the bitty. So I just don't understand the logic. It's really not that difficult to self-custody your Bitcoin. But to each their own. Again, not financial advice. Everything you hear on this stream is for entertainment purposes only. Just some things I'll never understand, so I gotta call it out. Happy snacking motherfucking Saturday. But let's continue with the headlines. Here's the latest with Goldman Sachs. The gold man is embracing the biddy. How ironic is that? The headline here reads, Goldman Sachs stacks the ETH and the biddy. Ironically enough, after years of bashing cryptos, U.S. investment bank Goldman Sachs, and I believe that's what Gary used to do, is work for Goldman, admitted it was wrong about the asset class. Not, what would Nate Diaz say? Not surprised, motherfrickers. Not in words, but in actions. Exactly. Listen to nothing these worms or snakes ever say. Follow their actions. The investment giant manages $3 trillion in client assets, and they were fudding Bitcoin for many, many years. But now they're buying up huge quantities of Bitcoin. Not surprised. And Ether via the ETFs. In a matter of months, the investment bank increased its ETH exposure 2,000% and upped its biddy ETF holdings by 114%. Goldman's U-turn on digital assets remind the crypto advocates of the quote, first they ignore you, then they laugh at you, then they fight you and you win. Amen to that. You guys have experienced that, I'm sure. But according to the regulatory filings with the US SEC, Goldman purchased nearly $1.28 billion worth of the iShares Bitcoin Trust, which is BlackRock's ETF, in the fourth quarter of 2024, along with $288 million worth of the Fidelity Wise Origin Bitcoin Fund. The filings show Goldman also holds $3.6 million worth of the GBTC, so they're diversified. And during the same quarter, Goldman increased its exposure to the Ether ETFs from $22 million to $476 million through the BlackRock iShares Ethereum Trust and Fidelity Ethereum Funds. So they're stacking the Biddy and the Ether. The investment bank's first foray into the crypto ETFs was in the second quarter of last year, when it purchased roughly $500 billion worth of the Bitcoin funds. The company's buying spree in Q4 was likely triggered by the election of President Trump, who promised to transform America into the world's blockchain capital. Paraphrasing Trump from the speech in Nashville, "We're going to make America the Bitcoin mining hub of the entire world. We're going to stockpile the Biddy. We're going to fire Gensler and elect Nippinator as the new chairman of the SEC." Exactly, and free Ross, and he has stuck to his promise thus far. He freed Ross second day on the job. Bitcoin treasurer Metaplanet has seen its stock price surge since adding the Biddy to the balance sheet. According to Bloomberg, the Tokyo-listed stock risen nearly 48%. That's like Lazarus. That's like Jesus, resurrecting Lazarus from the dead. Over the past 12 months, the gains coincided with the company's first Bitcoin purchase back in April of 2024, same month of the halving. And as of January 28th of this year, the company had acquired 1,762 with the Biddy, worth $171 million. Metaplanet holds up to 21,000. That's a blackjack, baby. By the end of 2026 in Bitcoin, that's the goal. And it could make it the world's second largest Bitcoin treasurer behind Mikey Saylor's Strategy B. And speaking of Mikey Saylor, shout out to the Giga Chad, recently just linked up with El Salvador's El Presidente, Bukele, and Max Keiser and Stacy Herbert. The ambitious plan includes raising up to 116 billion yen, which is 745 million USD, to finance more of the Bitcoin purchases. And if you want your company to grow, just adopt Bitcoin as a corporate treasury strategy. Follow Strategy B. Do the convertible stock witchcraft and just print the Bitcoin out of thin air, and you too can become the Bitcoin alchemist like Michael Saylor. But Metaplanet isn't the only publicly listed Japanese company to acquire the Biddy. As I shared earlier in the week, a new Tokyo-listed gaming studio company, Gummy, announced the billion yen allocation to the Biddy, equivalent to 6 million, 6.6 at the current exchange. The company intends to stake the newly acquired Bitcoin on Babylon, a digital asset staking protocol. The Bitcoin acquisition supports Gummy's broader blockchain Web3 ambitions, which include expanding the portfolio and the node of the management business. And meanwhile, Circle's USDC erases their bear market losses, but be quite honest, who cares about Circle? Who cares about USDC? It's my least favorite stablecoin. I don't trust them. They work for the lizard folk. If you're going to go stablecoin, go with USDT. Tether. Do you know Tether USDT is a registered security in El Salvador? If you don't know, now you know. And but there you have it. And as I shared earlier, Plan B made this crazy announcement. He transferred all of his Bitcoin into the ETFs, and now he personally holds no Bitcoin. He only holds Bitcoin IOUs via the ETF, but to each their own. I mean, what are we going to do? But there you have it, crypto bros. Let me know your thoughts as we continue with the #1 Daily Bitcoin Pod. All right, let's now discuss next headline. State of Wisconsin's $162 billion investment board scoops up more of the Bitcoin ETF shares. Speaking of the ETFs, State of Wisconsin Investment Board manages $162 billion in public assets. That's quite the number there. They bought almost $100 million worth of the BlackRock IBIT, which is their ETF, and invested $63 million in Grayscale's ETF. And that was as per their filing. Its latest regulatory submission to the US SEC, made on Thursday, reveals $321 million position in IBIT alone. The investment not only demonstrates strong institutional demand for the Biddy, but also shows the BlackRock's IBIT is head and shoulders above all the other spots. I mean, we're preaching to the choir. BlackRock's the largest asset manager. Of course, they're the biggest. They're the largest and again, the most volume. And sure enough, data from So Value shows IBIT was the only Bitcoin ETF with positive inflows on Thursday, bringing in $26 million. The ETF now holds $56 billion in assets as of February 13th and a return 137% year over year, according to BlackRock's website. Fidelity Wise Origin Fund is the second largest Bitcoin ETF, which is under $20 billion in assets under management, and third is IBIT's asset size. So there you have it, yo. I mean, the ETFs are doing their thing. The state investment boards are doing their thing. The pension funds are doing their thing. The sovereign wealth funds are doing their thing. All my Bitcoin kings are doing their thing. All my Bitcoin queens living the dream. Let's continue where we left off with Barclays, 131 million. Headline reads, Barclays purchases 131 million of BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF. It seems to be in the headlines today, everyone purchasing the BlackRock ETF. London, UK-based Barclays Bank, one of the world's largest financial institutions, more than $1.5 trillion in assets. Damn, $1.5 trillion. Purchased 131 million worth of the BlackRock ETF last year in 2024. They made the announcement. The details were revealed in a routine regulatory filing submitted on Thursday to the SEC, who won't let me be. The move marks a sharp shift in the bank's perspective on the biddy. In 2021, the article said Barclays described the top digital asset as uninvestable due to its volatility and advised its clients against purchasing it for their portfolio. Just another classic, do nothing they say and watch what they motherfucking do. These are the lizard folks we're speaking of. It is volatility making it the asset almost uninvestable, as if the volatility is a bad thing and not a feature from a portfolio perspective. Oh my God. Many would probably throw the crypto out of any portfolio in a typical mean variance optimization, according to their silly little article. But I find that ironic, and I find that to be FUD. And speaking of the volatility, before we discuss the latest with the Javier Milei endorsed Libra token losing billions of dollars within minutes and getting rugged, volatility of Bitcoin is a great thing. Do you prefer to have a dollar, which is volatile, by the way, it continues losing value, but its volatility is to the downside? Or would you rather have a volatile asset that's mathematically guaranteed to increase your purchasing power for the rest of your motherfucking life? Answer that one. So if there's any institution or anyone, any suit on TV, Jim Cramer, I don't care what his name is, and he's like, volatility of Bitcoin, FUD. So I'll take the volatility of Bitcoin being up 100 million %. Since the inception. I like that volatility. It makes people rich. Sign me up, please. I'll take 2. I mean, serious. So that's one of the arguments the lizard folk, the forces of evil, for lack of a better term, are going to promote. So if anyone is like, don't touch Bitcoin, this is volatility. It's like, oh no, I'm seeking the upwards volatility. I'm seeking the increased purchasing power guaranteed for the rest of my life. That's what I want. That's the motherfucking feature. What sailors say? Volatility is life force, and the force is strong with the BTC. Ask Master Yoda, please. But next story of the day. Headline here reads, Javier Milei endorsed Libra token crashes after 107 million insider rug pull. Insider wallet started cashing out just 3 hours after the token was launched. Short-lived, erasing over $4 billion from its market cap. And of course, Max had to chime in. I predicted this would happen on August 6, 2024, and he did, because I virtually repost every single thing Max does every single day since I've got on X. He ain't telling no lies. That Milei will learn the hard way about the shitcoins, and today his shitcoin lost billions of dollars in a few hours. I mean, look at that chart. That's depressing. Look how fast it went up, and just as fast as it went up, it came crashing down, and people lost a shit ton of money. Billions upon billions of dollars. So Mr. Milei, not a good look. You should really take some advice from the high priest, the bishop of Bitcoin, the one and only Max Keiser. He also, this is the proof. This is the receipt. Max Keiser stamped. This was August of 2024. Max Keiser wrote, only Bitcoin is money. The rest are scams. In El Salvador, we protect people from the scams. Milei will learn the hard way. And this was off the back of a post from Bitcoin Magazine. Argentina's President Javier Milei says there will be free competition of currencies. So if you want to use Bitcoin, there will be no problems. Is Argentina the next Bitcoin country? And Max knew from all along he was going to do the shitcoinery. In another tweet, Javier Milei makes his first major mistake. He never took the time to understand Bitcoin, or he did, and he's just a shitcoiner working with the forces of evil. What are your thoughts? Now he'll suffer the consequences. And here's actually something I posted on April 1st, 2024, because I can see through his facade. So I put, I wonder who he serves. And this tweet says, President Milei dances with the Israeli settlers at the Al-Barak Wall Plaza in occupied Jerusalem. And then they questioned putting Argentina first. And all I'm going to say is I can't really speak much about this topic. We're on X right now. And of course, there's a conspiracy out there we're not going to dive into at this very moment. But I kind of knew all along he wasn't necessarily looking out for the best interests of his people. And if he was, he wouldn't have launched a shitcoin. So it seems everything we put out there came to fruition. I mean, it is what it is at the end of the day. And he also put here, Max, as I predicted on April 1st of 2024, Malay's Bitcoin illiteracy was an accident just waiting to happen. And again, this is the chart of billions of dollars being lost because of this shitcoin in which he embraced. And it's sad because Libra is such a great astrological sign, and he's not doing it any justice. I mean, I love Libras. You know what I mean? You feel what I'm saying, Shandy? I love Libras, and I love Libra scales, but you're not making the Libra token look good right now, Malay. Get your shit together is all I gotta say. But anyways, according to on-chain intelligence firm Look On-Chain, at least 8 wallets linked to the Libra team siphon liquidity from the token, pocketing 57 million worth of the USD shitcoin. And 249,000 Solana worth 50 million. Quoting them here, the Libra team cashed out 107 million. 8 wallets related to the Libra team obtained 57 million USDC and 250,000 Solana worth roughly 50 million by adding liquidity and removing liquidity and claiming the fees. Not a good look. The Libra token briefly rose to a peak market cap of 4.5 billion. That was at 10:30 Valentine's Day yesterday, before falling 94% to the current 257 million market cap 11 hours since the token debuted. I wonder where we're at currently right now. If someone can look it up, let me know. The token's rally began shortly after the now deleted post from Malay. Not a good look when you're deleting posts to hide your tracks, Malay. Which shared a website and token contract address for Libra, which was a private project dedicated to encourage the growth of the Argentine economy. And after the token's collapse, Malay deleted his endorsement. Not surprised. Later issuing a statement. You need to apologize to everyone. Here's what he wrote, though, blaming everyone else. Go figure. To the filthy rats of the political caste who want to take advantage of this situation and do harm, I want to say that every day they confirm how vile politicians are and they increase our conviction to kick them in the ass. Kind of reminds me of the Haktua situation. No different. Just blame anybody and everybody else and take no responsibility for your own fuck up. Not a good look. Really not a good look. They erased $4 billion from the market cap after the insider selling. Insider wallets started cashing out the token, causing the 94% decline. Other blockchain firms warned about the project's tokenomics even before the meltdown. Blockchain analyst firm Bubble Maps warned Libra's flawed tokenomics, revealing 82% of the supply was unlocked and sellable from the start. And precisely what happened, all the insiders started to sell, tanking it, and they basically sniped it out, made their profits, and left everyone else hanging. Yeah, I mean, again, not a good look from Malay, but what are your thoughts there? And apparently this guy's a shitcoiner, not going to be embracing Bitcoin for the Argentine people, or he wouldn't release a shitcoin. But I digress. I mean, some people are just so hard-headed. I just don't buy into like the fucking incompetence. Like, oh, he's just stupid. They're not stupid. Criminals are not stupid. They're just criminals. And I'll just leave it at that. And I am on YouTube as well as X right now, so I'll be very careful about what I say. But I'll just leave it at that, and I'll read your comments out loud. Let me know your thoughts. Now for our feature story of the day. Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund announces buying $436 million worth of the Bitcoin ETF, BTC. So let's break this baby down, as well as the latest insights from the high priest of Bitcoin, the Bitcoin bishop himself, Max Keiser. So let's start with Max's tweet. Max and Stacy strike again. The Mideast dam of demand has burst. $1 trillion buy orders are on tap. God candle incoming. 2.2 million in play. And again, right off the back of this news, Abu Dhabi Sovereign Wealth Fund bought $436 million worth of Bitcoin ETFs just here in the first quarter. Another tweet from Max. Bitcoin country requires fighting on 2 fronts. Number 1, building a strategic reserve to prepare for the self-destruction of the fiat money entrenched monopolists like the US dollar, pushing central banks and global scammers like the IMF, the World Bank, and USAID. Number 2, prevent shitcoiners from entering the country by any means necessary. El Salvador is the most successful country fighting this 2-front world war Bitcoin, and it looks like wannabe countries like Argentina and the United States of America are losing Fact, the world is heading to a Bitcoin standard. No fiat money, central bank, or globalist shitcoin like the IMF survives. The Bitcoin office established the battle plan for El Salvador to win the global hash war in 2022, and the plan is working brilliantly. Quoting Napoleon, never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Requote, never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Very powerful words from the high priest right there. And this was the recent meetup on their 22-year anniversary of Stacy and Max and Stacy. They met with Bukele and Michael Saylor discussing Bitcoin. And I know Max said he invited, Bukele and Saylor to the Max and Stacy Invitational in January of 2026. And I know Saylor's company is going to be a sponsor at the Max and Stacy Invitational. So I can't wait to attend and kick it with the OGs I most respect. You're looking at excellence right here, fam. But let's dive a little deeper into the Abu Dhabi story, and then we'll dive a little deeper into Max's 2.2 million target and why he firmly believes we're likely to hit that. So let's break this baby down. Welcome everyone just joining the live stream. In the final quarter of 2024, Abu Dhabi made a striking move in the digital asset space, revealing a $437 million investment into the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF we know as IBIT. The disclosure, confirmed in a filing with the US SEC, underscores the growing institutional embrace of Bitcoin by the sovereign wealth funds. The massive investment was made through Mubadala Investment Company, one of Abu Dhabi's premier sovereign wealth funds managing $280 billion worth of assets. Mubadala's acquisition of 8.2 million of the IBIT shares aligns with the broader trend of institutional capital flowing into the digital asset sector, particularly in the Middle East, where the governments are increasingly integrating the blockchain tech and the cryptos into the financial systems. So yeah, BlackRock is in Abu Dhabi. They're all over the world. The timing of the investment, very notable, came just as BlackRock, world's largest asset manager, secured a commercial license to operate in Abu Dhabi, November 2024. BlackRock's IBIT, the dominant spot Bitcoin ETFs by assets under management, currently hold near 56 billion, reflecting the surge of institutional confidence in the BITI as a viable financial instrument. This is not Abu Dhabi's first foray into the digital assets. The Emirate has been actively exploring crypto-related ventures, including a significant investment into Bitcoin mining operations in 2023. That year, Marathon Digital and Abu Dhabi-based Zero2 announced plans to develop large-scale Bitcoin mining complex in the capital city, further signaling the region's commitment to the further of the digital finance. The revelation of the Abu Dhabi substantial Bitcoin stake also sparked reactions from industry figures. Bitcoin evangelist Anthony Pompliano took to X to highlight the strategic implications of the move. Quoting him here, Abu Dhabi's sovereign wealth fund just revealed they are buying hundreds of millions of dollars in Bitcoin, and people still think the United States won't buy Bitcoin. The strategic Bitcoin reserve is happening, just a matter of time. And this is a tweet today from Pompliano, but I'll tell you who shared that first. Max has been preaching this from the rooftop for the longest time, and I've been echoing that sentiment. So shout out to the high priest. I mean, meanwhile, Bitcoin reacted positively to the announcement. We're currently back in the green on the day, which is a good sign. But let's dive a little deeper into Max Keiser's 2.2 million BITI price target. It was initially 220,000 and he upped it by a 10x. So why did Max 10x the target? Let's break her down. Saylor's artistic portrayal of Bitcoin has been the evangelist's mandate since now it's called Strategy B, formerly known as MicroStrategy, the first one to adopt the Bitcoin on the balance sheet as far as a publicly traded company is concerned back in 2020, in spreading the Bitcoin gospel, as we do each and every day at the Bitcoin Cafe with the CNA fam. And his ultimate strategy is for the Bitcoin bank end game. That's according to Saylor himself. Saylor's recent description of how the U.S. can alter the BRICS attempt to demean its economy has caught the attention of the Bitcoin maxis, including the one and only Bishop of the BITI, Max Keiser. And Bukele, El Salvador pro-Bitcoin president, raised his Bitcoin price target from 200,000 to 2.2 million. And and that's citing Saylor's grand rug pull. So let's actually look at this receipt on X from Max Keiser, dated right here. The date is December 7th, 2024. Got 1.1 million views. He wrote, I'm raising my target price for the BITI from 220,000 to 2.2 million. Saylor's speculative attack on the 20 trillion global gold market has a very high probability of success. Microsoft, I believe that stands for, leveraging the 200 trillion global fixed income market. A rug pull gold is happening. Now, I don't think Microsoft actually followed through when there was talks. Remember when Saylor was speaking for their board of directors and such like that. But guess who the primary shareholders of Microsoft are? You guessed it, the lizard folks. So not surprise, surprise, surprise at the same time, but I digress. But yeah, in the interview, Saylor inferred that the U.S. could use the Bitcoin to stop the BRICS dollar harassment, stated a massive adoption of the Bitty as a reserve asset would hedge against the attack for the U.S. economy. The MicroStrategy chairman advised the U.S. government to acquire 20 to 25% of the Bitcoin circulating cap. I repeat, MicroStrategy chairman advised the U.S. government to Trump, that's you, acquire 20 to 25% of the Bitcoin circulating cap and store it as a global reserve asset. Sell the gold and stack the Bitty. In fact, gold is the poor man's Bitcoin. Am I right or am I right? That's a great quote by Max, by the way. He argued that the move would steer a global Bitcoin buying spree, boosting the asset's value and consequently the U.S. economy. So if the U.S. really wants to reduce the debt, they stack the Bitty. But the question becomes, are they going to reduce the debt? Is it in their best interest to reduce the debt, or do they want us in debt and enslaved and in control? That's my question for the guys here today. Furthermore, Saylor also teased a great twist on a strategy involving the U.S. selling all of its gold reserves to stack Bitcoin. The chairman insisted the ploy would demonetize the entire global asset class, affecting the U.S. enemies. I got enemies. Bitcoin for the Treasury, Bitcoin for the Kennedys, who hold a substantial amount of the precious metal. Notably, the plot would ensure gold's $20 billion market cap would shift into the Bitty. Rug pulling, and I believe they mean trillion. FYI, obviously gold has a lot larger than a 20 billion market cap. Must mean 20 trillion. Correct me if I'm wrong. But Saylor noted the twist will see the U.S. control over 100 trillion in assets for the world reserve currency network. And diving deeper into Max Keiser's Bitty prediction, Keiser implies Saylor revealed MicroStrategy's incessant fixed income market exploration endgame, stated the software firm has been raising funds from the 200 trillion sector to rug pull the goal, speculating it would come to fruition. And on that basis, Keiser raised his Bitcoin projection tenfold for 220 G's to 2.2 million per coin. This cycle is a peak. Let me know if you agree or disagree. Notably, the price call still falls below Saylor's 13 million Bitcoin prediction. Why so bearish, Max? Why so bearish? Meanwhile, a surge to 2.2 million from the current market price of 98 would entail a 2100 upsurge percentage, and that's a blackjack, baby. And if you don't know, now you know. Welcome everyone to the live stream. What it do? We have 1,800 viewers, and yes, it is espresso, right? Trump needs to get off his ass and buy Bitcoin before he loses his chance for America. Amen. I mean, now is the time. If they don't take action and they let this pass them, it's going to be a sad look for the United States of America. You feel me? You know what got laundered back into the campaign funds for the Uniparty? Word up. But anyways, let me know your thoughts on Max Keiser's 2.2 million target, Abu Dhabi, $500 million acquisition of the Bitcoin, just as Max has been calling for the longest time. Everyone's like, they're not going to do it. There's no way. They would have announced it. No, they wouldn't announce it before they buy it. They actually buy it and then they announce it only when they have to, because nobody wants to pay extra for Bitcoin when you're worth trillions of dollars and you have sovereign wealth fund with access to hundreds of billions of dollars. You feel what I'm saying? But currently Trump is the only strategy, US dollar only strategy. Is that laser cat? Let me know. Did Barclays Bank buy the Bitty? Well, the headline with Barclays, let me read that to you in case you missed it. Barclays purchased 131 million of the BlackRock Bitcoin ETF. So yes and no. Yes, they purchased Bitcoin. No, they don't own the real asset. They own the IOU. Wah, wah. But anyways, that's adoption for you. More Bitties for us. I figured out I went the wrong route. So I got with JV and the Bitcoin fam and went all out. I'll hit the gong to that. Gong, 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 gong. I'm feeling strong like the Bitty.